Oh, alright. Where'd I put my other fucking... Alright. Get this other one up here. Yes, what up? If you guys are joining the live, just want to make sure it's working. Hold up. $434. What? You guys are joining the live. Ah, yeah. So it is. What's good? What's good? Just want to make sure it's working. Hold up. All right, we are live. Beautiful. Ah, yeah. So it is. What's good? Just let me get that out of the way. All right. What up? What up? What up? Just getting everything set up. 1 second. So yeah, market is fucking chilling today. We got random ass coins running. Most stuff is down. Hold up. I'm gonna pull it up on this one too. Let's see. So yeah, guys, I'm super bullish. I think things are looking good. I'll cover a bunch of stuff in 1 minute here. I just want to get this live up on my other computer, just so I can see comments and everything. I bet. Beautiful. All right, so that's... I don't know why the quality's looking questionable, but... Alright, anyways, let's get into it. So, what is going on? If you guys are new, I'm Connor. Connor on chain. I do a lot of crypto, cover a lot of random stuff within the market, and I want to cover a ton of different stuff. Thought I'd see Connor with a mask on, bro, I know. Yo, mask, we'll cover mask first. Literally my favorite meme coin. This has been the worst performing meme lately. But on the flip side, the community has been nuts. Absolutely nuts. I think they're still killing it. I'm still holding. I'm not touching this thing. Literally my favorite coin at the moment. Yeah. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you. What are your favorite altcoins? Alright, favorite altcoins. That's a great question. So personally, I got, some of my biggest bags in the market. I mean, has been MOG for a very long time. This is one I've been riding out since 2023. It is a meme coin, strongest meme coin I think in the space. Very good Ethereum beta because we got ETH that's about to run. BitTensor is probably the other one. One of my personal biggest bags as well. I think it's a solid ass project. Like, there's no denying it. Their ecosystem is unbelievably slept on at the moment. But I think at some point it's probably going to pick up. I think a lot of it is going to come from BitTensor actually kind of running. It has been shopping now between like 200 and 400 for a couple months now. It really hasn't had that huge parabolic run. Cover a few coins too that I'm watching right now. Yeah, so I'll cover a couple coins, and I want to get into a bunch of different like tweets, different things that I've seen. And then also, I want to cover Pump in a minute. This is very important because I'll show you guys in a second. The market has been crashing out about the Pump token. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to be watching and looking for a setup. Not here, but I'll tell you when. But bottom line, we'll start off with, we got Zora, guys. This has been a fucking ripper the last week. This has been a beautiful play. Super hyped that we caught this one. Thing is too is I want to cover with it. We got this thing, this flywheel, I think is just insane. It's kind of like liquidity pairing on top of liquidity pairing. It's the social media platform for Base Chain, for Base right now. I don't think it's going anywhere. I'd say short term, it's probably going to dip a little bit, but I think it's going to continue. especially if ETH continues, because actually I didn't even cover Bitcoin and ETH yet. But I mean, Bitcoin too, the momentum has been nuts. Like this just wants to keep pushing. Because, personally for a while, I've been kind of looking for a potential dip and or just an actual correction, but the momentum that you can just see, it keeps going up, keeps holding, keeps climbing. It has not built any sort of bearish momentum where it wants to flip, start to show signs of like dipping, making lower lows, lower highs. We haven't seen that in a while yet. Oh, what's up, Doc? Yes, sir. Yeah, I might take some Zora profits and just blast it right into Mog. There's literally no better coin, at least to me personally. Obviously, Mask I like, but Mog is just the top ETH beta. Also, too, SPX. I mean, SPX is good, but it's huge. I think it's about to break out, and where is it here? There it is. Oh, it did break out. Holy shit. Yeah, what a chart. It literally followed. Yeah, that's what I mean about this momentum, guys. You can draw it out with a tool, and many times in this market, excuse me, momentum will literally just follow. But yeah, that had a huge break. Nice little retest. It's probably going to continue. Probably needs a bigger bounce. What is Fartcoin doing? Fartcoin is climbing. This actually looks very similar to Virtual. But Fartcoin, guys, I think at some point, I think some other listings are going to come for this one. This is one, if I wasn't already bullish on Mog or other meme coins, I would probably say Fartcoin is actually like a fucking solid project. Dude, yo, tell me about it, bro. That old laptop, I have it up right next to me. But yeah, that that old laptop, bro, does not. I can't even make videos on it anymore. But I still use it on and off. That's where I have all my wallets. Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, so let's cover a few things now too. Because now I'm just going through my watch list here. I want to cover Bitcoin dominance, all this stuff as well. And for you guys in the group too, I got a video coming. I'm going to cover most of the stuff I already did in the video. But this is just going to be, if anyone missed the live, it's going to be a lot of similar stuff and probably a little bit more, some more alts. But yes, the overall market too, we're seeing TIG. TIG is running Graphite. This is one I can't believe we faded. I saw this. This was a good bonk eco coin. But yeah, I personally faded that one. But this is an unbelievable fucking run too. I don't know too much about it though. I think that's partially why I faded that. Alright, let's see what we got. So Kled. I wanted to cover Kled because there was a ton of FUD between Ben, Pasternak, like Launchcoin, and Avi here, the founder. I was trying to find I bet it's a bug. I was trying to find the tweets, but I don't think I could find it. Let me just go through it here real quick. But yeah, I think there was something where the founder was kind of done with Launchcoin itself and the eco. I think he's almost trying to split away. But I think Kled actually is a pretty good project. Like, unless this kid is just going to pull some multi-million-dollar, scam and just do some fuck shit like that, I think still Kled has potential. I was watching Meme Coin. Yo, shout out to you. One of you guys in our group, I think it was Solus, bro. You cooked on that. You caught that Cabal coin. That is crazy. Let me see. Yeah, Launchcoin drama, bro. That was. I mean, it's been going on now for just so long. Yeah, this is what I was saying when I made the video earlier. I can't believe how low. Is that Launchcoin is just so. It's not bottomed out, but it's coming all the way back down to the previous support. That is wild. Because I assumed at some point this was going to reverse and just start cooking up. But yeah, I think until this stuff gets resolved, I think it's still just going to chop sideways. And that gets me because it's like a lot of the projects that have actually built within this eco are very innovative in crypto. There's not many projects that are, they have legitimate like Web 2 native developers just coming into crypto to, whether fundraise or use, Launchcoin in whatever way possible to assist them with growing a new startup, basically. You know, they're launching these projects not to launch a crypto project. They're launching an actual, some sort of AI or some sort of really innovative product, but they're implementing crypto alongside it. That's where the difference is. And that's why I like this eco a lot, but it's unbelievably undervalued. But this needs to be resolved first. It's just slept on. And yeah, bro, base is for everyone. Yeah, I still think that is a great. Base is for everyone. Definitely a solid beta too to Zora, but yeah, this one we literally in this, but it hasn't really done too much yet. I assume it's probably gonna take maybe a week, couple weeks. It's probably gonna bounce, but I think if it can break out, I want to see it just chop a little bit and just start moving. But basis for everyone, I think, is low key a powerhouse of a meme for Zora. I mean, if we got Zora that has been printing like this, like it's kind of like an OG Zora meme. You know, I think it's a pretty good beta to it, but it might take a little while to actually start moving. Let's see too. So we got Kled. This I'll cover in a minute because I want to cover subnets again on BitTensor. Like I was saying earlier, I think that eco is just very slept on as well. But virtuals too. I think there was something that happened with virtual. I think they deleted the tweet. They posted some sexual thing because one of their projects was it this one? I think it was like a day ago. Yeah, one of the projects is doing something where it's like, you know, just whatever, XXX type AI project, which personally, you know, I think is okay. It is what it is. Probably got some backlash though. I actually don't. Oh, it was. Oh yeah. Okay. Word. Just have it up right there. But that's what it was. Yeah. I think I saw a little bit of backlash though about that. But you know, I mean, it's crypto. Bobo is the meme. Period. Yo, Bobo, bro. Bobo's not bad. Their founder, though, I've seen him for a long time just fudding a ton of memes. For me personally, you know, I saw him FUD Mog like 20 different times over the last like year. That to me is a complete that throws me off. Because I think founders that are FUDding other projects, like you don't really need to. But I want to cover Ray too. We'll continue. I'll get back to Dippy and subnets. Dippy is probably one of my favorite ones still. But yeah, guys, Ray continues to push the behavioral memory. Like, I'm not going to go in depth, but honestly, I think Ray is just truly trying to push boundaries within crypto and AI. There are not many projects that are actually doing this, and they are so active and adamant about pushing this consistently. Like 2 hours ago, massive update. They got bi-weekly updates where they're doing a ton of different stuff. Like, in my personal opinion, this is still an unbelievable base gem that I think the market somewhat is sleeping on, but at the same time, I mean, look at this chart. Probably the most insane chart in the market. I mean, it's about to break all-time high. Yeah, so this is a great call for, you know, our group. I'm super hyped that this one ended up running. And is still running if you guys have been holding it. Because I know some other coins haven't been doing too much too, but I feel like in crypto that's kind of part of the game. What do you think about NKI? That's a good question, bro. I mean, NKI, that was probably one of my favorite AI projects last year. But the thing with them is actually, why don't we pull it? I haven't checked their Twitter. The problem with them is they were not doing any sort of marketing. You know, I think marketing in crypto especially is very, very important. You know, they really haven't been posting much. They're not doing too much to showcase what they're building. They kind of, I don't want to say they went silent, but they're just not doing enough to kind of push their product, to push what they had. I'd say as of now, I would say NKI I'd probably stay away from. I'm not holding it anymore. I don't own it. But you know, it's still something I used to use it like all the time because I liked having different LLMs to just mess around with, do research with, just type stuff out. I literally used it like for months. But But yeah, lately I haven't really touched it, haven't been focused on it. But that's NKI. Yeah, that was an old one. That had a good run initially, but that was one same thing round tripped. I pulled like a 6 to 8x or something, I think, from the lows. Yeah, and then we held that one down. Bio, though, this is an interesting one. Bio protocol. I'm not going to cover it too much today. I'm going to make a separate video on it for our group and then also public. But Bio, I think, is very strong. DeSci is an entire eco. Nobody is watching. And as you guys know, I like to focus on coins, ecosystems that no one's paying attention to, especially when the chart is bottomed out. Even though with this one, they do have some unlocks, which I don't like when tokens just have a lot of unlocks every day, every week. You know, it's actually been throwing me off more and more lately, especially with Aoki. But Bio, I think DeSci still will be a clear leader for DeSci at some point. Alright, so why don't I want to cover Pump, subnets. I do have a bunch of other tweets here, though. Oh, this was the other one for Launchcoin. Yeah, so apparently CryptoMan ran. I offered Pasternak a platform to communicate what he is doing, totally ignored several times. I realized then that this is not a founder that is serious. Dumped my tokens. Yeah, I think it's just a real problem with this ecosystem, guys, with this dude. Pasternak, I think he needs to literally just hire people, have someone else build this up for him, because the opportunity he has at hand is unlike anything I've seen. That would start a massive, massive meta again for crypto as a whole. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Stonks 9800. Is that new Stonks? Is that new coin I think a couple of YouTubers were talking about? Or is this an ETH? That's on Sol. Okay, so first thing with me, bro, when it comes down to looking for new memes, especially if you're finding derivatives of an original coin, I am always very skeptical. This looks like a complete derivative of SPX. Likelihood of this actually seeing success, I would think, is very low. Even if it's a good community, even if it's great in other aspects, I would be very cautious of any sort of coins that are derivatives, because it's basically the same thing as SPX 6900. It's funny, we've actually seen the same thing. There have been some coins I've had people ask me in the past on. There's like a MOG on Solana, not the OG MOG that's actually on Sol. There's another MOG that launched, and then another coin that was another derivative of MOG. There's been a bunch. But oftentimes, even though they're a lot larger, it's way better to stick with the OG original meme. But obviously entry too is important, because with something like that, if you're getting in at the lows, that would be a lot better. Even though obviously you're not going to get a 50x with it, you can get a few x's. I'd highly recommend, just timing a good entry and sticking with the original that is actually moving. SPX was inspired by stonks. You could be right, but I think the market has 100% priced this one in, and it's been out for a long time. That's what I would, I guess, say to that. But if it was inspired by it, that is pretty cool. And if anything, it should get more recognition. But how can we join your Discord? So the Discord is in the link of any single YouTube video I post. It's actually linked to Patreon. Within the Patreon, you can sign up and join the Discord there. Your calls are meeting. I regret not selling my Lithium bag and moved to Ray 2 months ago. What was a good buy price? Yeah, so I appreciate that, bro. I would say, for Ray, because it is probably the only chart in the market I've seen that is actually pushing towards all-time highs, I would highly wait for any sort of correction. Because even for me personally, if I wasn't getting in, or if I didn't call it down here, I do not like to buy into heavy upwards momentum, because even though this is accumulating upwards, I would have to see the. Whoa, fucking fly in my room. My bad. I think the second time. I would like to see some sort of actual downside move before I would look to enter anything. So if this started to like, break this trend that it's in, heavy dump, maybe it goes down to 100 million again, that would be some sort of entry. Keep in mind it might take a while. It's not going to be something that happens in 2 days from now. It might be a few weeks, but that's what I would say. Is I usually would wait for a major correction on the coin and then to be jumping in, because usually the risk to reward is going to be a lot better there too. Let me see what other tweets I got too. Mask is rug proof. That is true. Shout out to Mask. So this I want to cover too. Base, they're doing this on-chain summer, which, I mean, there's not much for me to cover on it. But I think within Base and this entire Base app hype, there are going to be a lot of projects in the market that people aren't focused on that are also included with Zora, because if you guys are familiar with Zora, it's kind of like a social media platform for crypto. But I think there's going to be a lot of different coins and or projects that exist already that are going to get integrated into it, that, there are different utilities with it. And one, for example, is actually, my bad, I don't know who texted me. Another one is Hello World. If you guys are not familiar, I've been bullish on this one for a very long time. Hello World is tied to O'Hara AI. And what O'Hara AI is you can vibe code any sort of application. And if they integrate this into the Base app, not only will you be able to then, create your own profile on Zora, post on socials, in some way, shape, or form, I feel like with something like O'Hara AI, you can then actually create any sort of mini application that you want to build on top of that. And when it comes down to it with something like this, it also tokenizes your application that you post. And, the reason why I say Hello World, this token, is this is like, it's not their official token, but they've decided to do some utility with this one. So this is like their official, unofficial token. But this to me is something I'm incredibly bullish on. I think the market is just not even focused on it. Haven't talked about it for months. Like, no one has seen this yet. But with Hello World, it also gets 1% of every single app coin that's created. Excuse me. Yo, yeah, M87, bro. I've seen that for a long time. Let me see M87 again. M87 low-key is a powerhouse. I'm pretty sure this is that peer... Oh, bro, what do you call that? I always mess that up. Not peer-to-peer transaction. Like, that's fucking crypto for you. Oh, OTC. They got OTC stuff and then a ton of partnerships with a lot of coins. Yeah, I think this is strong, especially the people that are kind of behind this. And I don't mean the team, but I know there are a lot of influential KOLs on Twitter, that are kind of pushing this one. But yeah, I think this is actually a pretty strong coin. I'm not in this, I don't hold it, but I think this has a good amount of growth left. I'm not calling for crazy amount. I mean, a couple X's very long term. If we get ETH volume to just go nuts again, yeah, I think this long term can do pretty well. Excuse me. In a second here too, I want to cover Pump. Like I said, I think 5 times now. Welcome. Tendies on Sol. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at Tendies on Sol, bro. Check KeyCat and Miggles. That's true. I mean, KeyCat has been such an OG base meme. Sorry, I'll cover. I mean, Block. I don't really know too much about this, but this chart has been fucking cranking. That is nuts. I saw this at launch too, and I was like, all right, it's already way too big. I didn't even look into it. But yeah, I was gonna say KeyCat though. KeyCat and Ski Mask on base. Ski Mask Dog. Those are OG base coins. If there were gonna be 2 OG base meme coins, I would look to be jumping into or betting on. I think it would be Ski Mask Dog personally, but I think this is also a decent one. This too has just been chopping for a year and a half. Hasn't had a breakout, hasn't fully run. I mean, maybe here, I guess. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this run a little bit higher. What was I just looking up? No clue. No, I do ski mask dog. That's what I was doing. Yeah, my brain is fried sometimes, guys. My fault. Ski mask dog. Now we gotta add the spaces because I can't type. Yeah, 73 million. So this is starting to look good. But what's crazy too is this is one I initially called in our group a long time ago. Or I don't know if I called it or if I told everyone I was holding it for a while. Sold it at the bottom, and people in our group caught this fucking ballistic move. I'm pissed that I got out of it, but yo, literally pulled like the most insane move. So shout out to anyone who got into that a long time ago. But yeah, ski I think is gonna continue. It's probably gonna chop for a little while, aside from one more dip. But biggest thing for ski, if you're watching this one, I would just keep watch of this momentum. You definitely want to see a break of 100 million or like 10 cents. But the thing you want to watch for that's bullish is keep this momentum. You want to see this momentum just keep swinging higher. You know, you don't want to see the momentum start to like tail off, where it starts to do this and then falls. And if it looks like it's going to go down, that's going to be very bearish for it. But I don't think it's going to do that anytime soon. This will probably continue and then break out, especially when ETH hits like 4K, 45, 5K. That is going to fly. Dylan, yeah, I appreciate that, Dylan. Thank you. And thank you. Yeah, Zora was doing very well. I'm super hyped that we caught that, just for our group and then also publicly too. That was awesome to see. I don't think it's even done yet. Still very early on it. Aside from like a, good sized pullback, it's probably going to happen, but it's definitely going to continue. Yeah, we saw this Edge coin. What did this one do? That just had a god pump yesterday. I haven't been watching this one at all. That had a good run, good pump. I think Giza too. Giza started moving again. Because that's at what? 17. Oh no, so it didn't really pump yet. This hasn't broken out. Giza though, I know they have some unlocks happening pretty consistently. I don't know about this one right now. It's still a pretty strong base coin, but I know they have unlocks happening. All right, I'll check. I got you. I'll check tendies and then we'll cover pump because I think you guys definitely want to hear this. It's actually going to be a big trade that I want to take in the future and call as well. Tendies on Sol. Let's see what we got. I think low-key, bro, if GameStop and meme stocks come back soon, this likely will pump, but not financial advice at all. I'm not jumping into this. This is heavily going to correlate with GameStop and the GameStop dude. Just watch GameStop at this point for something like that. But who knows? The reason why I'm never going to tell someone like, yo, the coin you're looking up is a scam, it's awful. Like, bro, most of the time, the coins that you never think are going to run are the ones that end up pulling absolute god candles. Like any coin, even if I don't like it, it doesn't mean it's a bad coin, guys. This market too is very opinionated. If you had 40K capital and your goal is 1 million, would you go all in multiple memes, a single meme, or diversify? That is a great question, bro. So first off, I think mentally to have a target of hitting 1 million from 40K, unless you were going to be unbelievably locked in, and being able to sell early, taking profits very easily and aggressively, that's going to be very difficult from here. Like what that would mean is if you want to separate that up between 2 to 4 coins, like I personally, if I had 40K and I was looking to diversify that, I would probably either throw that into legitimately 1 coin, maybe 2 coins, and ride that out for a few X's, something like MOG, something like BitSensor. Like I would throw most of that into 1 safer coin. That's usually going to be the best way you play the market, unless you literally are willing to risk that 40,000 to just, you're going to be aping into low cap, micro cap memes like very aggressively heavy, which I don't recommend anyone just do that. Like if that's most of your capital, that needs to be parked into very strong high caps. That's what I would say. But I mean, if you really you wanted to do that, I would diversify maybe 5 to 10K of that, throw that into a couple low cap memes, and ride those out for a very long time. I mean, the best example for me personally is Mog. Like I got in at the bottom, and I held this thing for a year and a half, and we sold at the literal top here. And then we bought back in here, we bought back in, we bought back in. I've DCA'd a bunch again. That's gonna be your best bet in the market is finding something at the lows, consistently. Whether it's a month, a couple months, you gotta ride it out. That's gonna be the best way you make a ton of money. I would risk 10K in Ohm. Ohm had that huge nuke. I literally put a red thing there. Look at that. Yo, that is, bro, that is just crazy. If this is the coin you're talking about, I personally would be staying away from this. I mean, that is just an insane chart. Excuse me. I mean, guys, Elky, though, too, has been killing it. Chart-wise, no. Not even close. But, yeah, they just had another update where Nils, the founder, was on Fortune magazine or something. Or not in the magazine. He did, like, a whole speech. Yo, I swear, this is one of the most innovative projects in the entire space. I just can't stand their unlocks. Even though it's like, I know the way that they have their tokenomics set up, it actually is pretty smart for how their business model kind of works and how they operate, but it's just in crypto from an investment standpoint. I've just had the mindset where it's like there's a ton of sell pressure, not enough buy pressure consistently. That's what ends up driving tokens into the ground, even if they are unbelievably fundamentally strong. Wolf and Andy. Personally, I don't really like to cover any sort of Pepe derivatives, anything like that. I'm just not bullish on them at all. But I mean, I guess Wolf and Andy, if Pepe does run, they'll probably run as well. But I personally would stay away from those. I just don't like Pepe derivatives. All right, now why don't we cover Pump, because I've said it 10 times. How long has this been? 30 minutes? Okay. So guys, Pump.fun. So I want to show you guys something. I thought this was actually kind of funny. Nope, that's Doppler. Well, I'm sorry, that wasn't funny. It's not funny to see people losing a fuck ton of money, but we got the amount of bear posts on Pump.fun right now is exactly why this is going to continue to dump. We got Ansem saying Pump is one of his worst trades in a while. Confirms he's paid nothing. Choose Rich Nick is fudding the shit out of Pump.fun. Got another one. Pump.fun just made a new all-time low. Like, unbelievable bear posts of Pump.fun. It's like when a token has this many unlocks just happening from launch. I actually expected it to pump a little bit before it ended up running, but of course it didn't actually do that. Like, I thought from launch, like, it actually did pump for, a day? A couple of days? I thought it would run a little further before it ended up dumping, but guys, the thing is, I want to tell everyone, this is what happens to 99% of altcoins. If there is hype, if the market already knows about a coin before the token is out, it is going to dump to oblivion, especially when it has tokenomics where the team and whoever else can dump on day one. This is going to continue to dump. The other catalyst and why I think it'll go lower is because we got the airdrop coming for Pump.fun. It's actually been said, I think, yesterday on Thread Guys thing. Yesterday they were saying it's not going to happen for an undisclosed time frame. So meaning I think it's going to continue to dump. Once they announce the airdrop happening, it's probably going to dump even further. When the airdrop hits, because Pump is so down already, everyone is going to be selling for the little bit of gains that they can get from the Pump airdrop, which will then nuke the price even further. This is when you start looking at the token. You do not want to be buying it from launch when it has like low-key just bearish ass tokenomics. This is when I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, because why don't we pull up a few random charts that did the same shit? trying to think, what was one of them? I had one before. I mean, why don't we look at Zora? Look at fucking Zora, guys. This is exactly what Pump.fun is doing. It's like if you get rid of this candle, same exact shit. It is going to dump for probably another couple weeks. It will sit sideways, even maybe a little lower. It will find its ground. But at some point, I know for a fact, it is one of the most profitable businesses or projects in the space. It will come down. It will sit at a point here where it's going to be sideways for a while. And then when the market finally realizes, like, oh shit, Pump actually might be a buy now, finally. Because all the people that sold are finally out. The team is sold after a month or two. That is when you start looking at a coin. So the fact that people are still worried about, oh, I made terrible trades on it. Bro, if you saw signs it was going to start dumping, you probably shouldn't have been buying it here. But I think it's going to do something like this, and then it's not going to pull a Zora like this, but to see this run and end up doing something where it starts to climb. Another one is actually Pengu. I'll show you Pengu because it actually might do something like that. Same exact shit. When Pengu launched, everyone was so hype. Yo, this is the next major runner. Next biggest meme coin in the space. And look what happened. This shit dumped for like a month. No, a month. Not a month. 3 months. 4 months. Obviously, this was at the beginning of the year, which the entire market dumped like crazy. So it's not even this coin's fault. Well, what happened? It dumped for months. Until the market started thinking, okay, it actually looks like it's finally a buy. All the way down here. This is what you want to wait for the pump token. And I'm telling anyone right now, this is going to be one of the easiest long-term swing trades or investments you can make. I don't think pump is going anywhere. Do not be buying it right now. It's definitely going to keep dumping for at least another few weeks. But when it does bottom out, this I think is going to be such an obvious play. Very obvious. But it's like I've said many times, it's going to take a while for it to actually just find its ground, to stop dumping, and to start sitting sideways. So that is Pump. If you guys are looking for a very long-term play, just watch Pump. I mean, what is the market cap? $1 billion right now? Yeah, so it's at $1 billion. If this goes, like, look at this. I have this drawn out. If this can go even another 30, 20%, 40, I would say probably 40%, maybe 50. This can go to like anywhere from 300 million to 700 million, and it starts to go sideways. That's going to start looking like an actual long-term trade. Or if you guys want to buy spot, just start DCAing once it's down another 40% from here. When you see these bear posts get even worse, when everyone, when the consensus, if you have like a really curated crypto timeline like I do, when your consensus is that, Pump.fun is actually going to zero, that is when you want to start loading up and start looking at it and be like, okay, everyone hates it right now. That's probably when I should be buying. So just let it run to the downside. Probably will chop a bit. And then I guarantee it will start to pull some sort of upwards momentum. I'm not saying it's going to do a 25x, but potentially to do a couple x's absolutely from the bottom. If you guys start DCAing, you get your average very low. At some point, it's going to pull something like this. I know it will. But, I think it's just going to take some patience for it. So that is one of the most obvious setups that I'm watching in the market, but this is a multi-month setup. That is what I wanted to cover for Pump.fun because, like I said, it's within the market. What am I doing? It's crazy that most of the market still doesn't understand how hype launches work. I want to make a video over the next 2 days. I want to cover that like very in depth because that's why I like stealth launches a lot. Because it's kind of like in an attention market like crypto, when most of the attention starts to flood in, whether a coin's been out for a while or if it just launched, that huge push of attention, that is when a coin runs. Whether it is something like, we'll see, like we'll do Gradient. This is on ETH, another massive fade of mine. But this was a stealth launch, and it started to get hype. It launched. Nobody knew what the coin was when it was launched. It wasn't like Pump.fun. Everyone knew what Pump.fun was. The hype was already there. But for gradients, no one knew what this was. A lot of early gem hunters started looking, researching, finding the value. Then the hype and attention started flowing into this coin. And what did that do? That is what brought the coin to start moving higher. So it's when that initial spark of attention flies onto a coin is when a coin will run. But if it's something that doesn't even have a token yet, but it's been hyped up for a long time and there's VCs behind it, it's likely not going to have a bullish run. That's why I love focusing on new launches on ETH, new launches on Sol, even Base, even though, I mean, I haven't really seen too much on all of these lately. Sol, I mean, every day there's something on Sol, but I just hate trading on Sol. I just think that's super important that you guys should know if you are watching new coins, new launches, because that's something I check every single day. But, I think especially for more momentum in the market, it's always going to start with ETH. The big blue coin has got to just pump. It's got to rip. We got to see this just break higher. I think it's going to do that sooner than later. So that is what I wanted to cover with Pump. We'll cover subnets a little bit. Yo, Ray is cranking, bro. This shit just keeps going. I got a big thing with Ray though too is I know a lot of their holders are just absolute diamond hands. Most of their supply is held with incredibly diamond handed holders. But yeah, look at this thing run. That is nuts. Hyperliquid too has been a coin I've been bullish on. I don't even own it. I don't, I will post and talk about coins even if I don't hold them. But Hyperliquid, the reason why I like it is because of their tokenomics. But I think going forward, aside from any sort of correction, if this comes back down, hype very long term I think is going to just continue. To see like a $70 to $90 hype I think is very, very reasonable. Has Blast died? Yeah, bro. I think they announced that they were like not even gonna be doing anything on the chain anymore. So yeah, I would stay away from Blast. Cause yeah, that actually brought up a good point. Something I want to do is I want to start looking into new L2s, new chains again. Because I've mainly been focused on Base, Mainnet ETH, Solana. And then, a little bit within the BitTensor eco, virtual eco before, not anymore. But I want to focus on a lot of newer L1s and L2s while they're dying, while they're dead. Exactly when I like to cover shit, when everyone thinks a coin is dead. Perfect example, Barachain. I still haven't looked into this. I don't know anything about it. I gotta check it out. But Barachain, we got Initia is another chain. And even just existing ones like Sui's ecosystem actually is like pretty strong. Diving into a lot of ecos that potentially have good projects being built within it. The Arweave eco is another one. Hyperliquid's ecosystem itself, yet another one. It's sometimes like to really find a lot of random gems. Sometimes you got to go through so many ecosystems, so many chains. Not to mention all the fucking different wallets you gotta use. Like, there's like the amount of wallets, bro, I have on my tab. I literally got like 20 different wallets on my other computer here. I'm like insane. Like ICP Eco is another one I used to be bullish on, but yeah, just there's so many different projects, chains, and it's at any point in this market, things just take off like that. It's insane. Like this market never sleeps. It doesn't stop. But yeah, maybe not Barachain. I gotta look. I have no clue. The only thing I like about Bara is they have those NFTs that are like bears. They look like Milady Retardio NFTs, but like as bears. I think those are fucking sick. Probably my favorite NFT art I've ever seen for like a PFP. But that's all I know about Barachain right now. But another one too I want to start looking at is Initia. They actually had a couple projects that were interesting being built underneath their eco. But I haven't been up to date with them in probably a month or two. I gotta look that up. You know what? That brings another idea. Yo, check out Swag. That's on ETH, right? is I'll show you guys a couple ETH beta plays that I think are going to run at some point when ETH decides to fully take off. Oh, dude, GraphLink. I was so bullish on GraphLink, bro. That was like a big hold of mine, too. I forgot about that one lately. That's just annoying. It's just, sometimes this market, bro, is so unpredictable. You can have some of the most fundamentally strong projects, and they just don't want to hold up. This market moves so fast. Yeah, let me look at swag. I'll pull up some ETH beta memes. Yeah, I assume you're talking about swag on ETH. This is actually another slept on OG ETH meme. I forgot about this one. Yeah, that actually does look pretty good. I mean, very simply put, it's been ranging. It's right on support. That's on daily too. That looks great. Yeah, I'd watch for a bounce here. So yeah, let's start at the top down. If you guys want really good ETH beta, like I said, SPX already at almost 2 billion though. That's a fucking hefty market cap. I don't know how many X's you'll actually get on something like this here, but I mean, to see maybe a couple dollars aside from a correction on this, I think this easily could print something like that. Maybe 3, 4. I don't know how much higher that can go. But obviously the number one ETH beta, in my opinion, it has been for a long time, is Altcoin. This is now on every single exchange. I think it's coming to Binance. I don't know if it got listed on Binance US recently or something. I have no clue. I haven't even looked at it. Because frankly, I don't care. MOG is a gem, whether with listings or not. But MOG here as another high cap beta, easily number one. This is one of my biggest holdings in the market, like I said. Let's see some other ETH betas we got. Ticker Bitcoin. Yo, I want this fucking coin to run. Oh, that's on Sol. But yo, this has just been sad. It had a little bit of a run, never truly ran, because this was an OG ETH coin. It was Pepe in 2023. I remember watching that. I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't able to be on my computer for a couple of days, and I remember seeing Pepe at like a couple million, 10 million, 30 million. I'm like, dude, how is this pumping in the middle of a bear market? Like, I'm not jumping in. Goes to fucking billion something. But regardless, after Pepe, it was SPX, MOG, and Ticker Bitcoin. Most OG ETH meme coins. All three of them launched at like a similar time. I call that the ETH trifecta of memes. So another one that I've seen so many times, guys, is Joe. Joe is another OG ETH meme, and it's already primed. It's already started to move. If this was down here again, I would say it actually looks like a buy. Maybe here, but lots of people are bullish on Joe. Another one too that is just such a classic ETH meme is the Balkan Dwarf. I think this could get traction at some point again, just because it is another ETH beta meme coin. I think and they're still going. This is one of the most insane meme coins to me. Like, this dude is still posting, I think, every day. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Just creating these videos, posting it all the time. Okay, maybe not every day anymore. I mean, I don't blame him. This dude's been cooking up, like, memes every day for, like, 2 years. Nuts. And I got 2 pairs of, the Moggles, or 2 pairs of, Pit Vipers, yeah. I don't know why I don't have them on right now. I should have. I think they're actually right behind me over there. Last one though too, that's a decent ETH beta. I don't recommend jumping into these right now. I just want to give you guys these because it's kind of funny. Forgot about a lot of these. Is LMI, Lockheed Martin Inu. Lots of MOG holders I know for a fact hold this, and it's very low market cap, but again, if you're buying this shit here, do not expect it to start moving. It's huge chance this just comes all the way back down. If we see ETH break all-time highs, these will start flying. Anything and everything I mentioned likely will start running again at least a little bit. But just keep in mind, if you're trying to buy shit right now, I would literally hold off unless it's a coin you really like and you start looking into the community. But those I think are just some pretty good ETH betas. I think literally MOG is the only one you need to hold. If you have, I mean, it doesn't matter how much capital you have with it at all, but I think it's a great one that still will pull a ton of X's from here. It's on Coinbase, very easily accessible to anyone. I just think it's a powerhouse. Oh god, dude, look at this shit. Oh, I'm so butthurt. I saw this at like 40 cents and I thought it was too late. Oh my lord. Graphite is like tied, I think, to the founder of Bonk Eco. The reason why I think it's pumping so hard is because of within this eco, I think it does buybacks into this actual token from the Bonk Eco. Something like that. But yeah, this thing, someone I know literally top blasted this here, and I was like, dude, ended up printing. Nuts. So yeah, that's a major fade lately. But you can't catch them all. You can never catch every single trade in a market. Stick to something you can research, you can build conviction in, and eventually if it plays out, it plays out, Something like Zora, like I said, I'm still very bullish on this. I love how Base is basically marketing this for us. We don't have to do anything. Check out Luby. It's by an OG GTA artist of 15 years, insanely undervalued, and had their NFT collection. Yo, I think I remember that coin a long time ago. This could. I don't know if this will run. Maybe I think if GTA 6, gets into the spotlight at some point for some reason soon, I think it will. Maybe this could run, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about this one. I would probably say no to this one, but again, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it can't run, It probably still can. Have you seen FXH? I saw that ticker, but I just haven't been focused on any Zora beta plays lately. Let's see what this is. Or actually, I say that though, because I saw someone said it was a Zora beta in a ticker, but I could be completely wrong. New era for digital, new system to transform artists created, collected. Altcoins. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, you connect your wallet to this shit. That's pretty cool. I don't know about. Yeah, I mean, it's speculative. Any sort of coins that can do, or basically tokenizing any sort of coins on Base, I think are speculative, but that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a pretty cool concept. Is that fully diluted too? Yeah, I'd have to check a little. Let me see their Twitter real quick. New launched today, Olympics. Yeah, my bad. I keep reading let me see, FXH. If they've been out for a while, I'm surprised I've never heard of this. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, let me see. Super low cap bingo on Base. I don't know bingo on Base. I'm probably not gonna cover that or look that up. Olympics, is that a new launch where on ETH or something? So I actually did. Oh, it is on ETH. Instantly. Well, tokenomics. Dex screener isn't even updated. Many games across super apps, social platforms, ELP. Let's see what the website is. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video for public, guys. I want to do something where I show you guys very in depth how I actually evaluate new launches and stuff. This doesn't look too bad off first glance. I'd have to go through almost all of these pages. I literally check everything super in depth. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this actually doesn't look horrible. Yeah, it seems like their team is, yeah. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I'd say the concept, though, I don't know how hype. If this is like a play to win type gaming coin, I don't know how hype that actually can get. But that doesn't mean that this can't run. Because for me, something I focus on is utility. If it's something that's been done or something that's kind of old, especially anything gaming related right now, I just completely stay away from it. But that doesn't look horrible. Um, no, I've not commented on Dowge. I think yeah, let's see that one. That's that new SPX beta, right? I think this is one that YouTuber someone launched. This one, I don't know. I think because this is basically a derivative as well of SPX, I don't know. I think this one can potentially run because of the people that are pushing it. But for me personally, I would not be betting on this at all. But it's probably not that bad. I don't know. But yeah, personally, I would not be jumping into this, especially at 50 million. Like this is already pushed very hard. I mean, especially if this has been out. I want to see how this actually started. If people were buying over here, then they started pushing it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be cautious of that one. But it could continue. I just don't want to bullshit anyone with this stuff. Because it's like a lot of times people will just buy up supply, pump it with a video. But I don't know. I don't know much about this one. All right, 56. So I'm gonna let's see if there's anything new that launched. You know what? Where's my phone? I took a screenshot. What is that coin? Lustra, Lentra. This one to me looked. No, it's not Lentra. What the hell is it? There's a new launch on ETH that looked somewhat interesting. Lentra. But yeah, 67%. Of course, this ended up nuking. This one looked interesting, but everything else I kind of questioned from it. Blazing fast transaction with AI powered security. I don't know. This one looked decent, but as you can see, it's already kind of rugging. Most of these new launches on ETH are just, it is like playing with fire. Only two lately that I've seen that are actually good is Liquid Agent seems very reputable, and then also that Gradient that I pulled up earlier. I think there's like one or two more. Listed on KuCoin Mexi, connected to PUBG Penguins, also featured on Cookie DAO. Olympics, okay. Yeah, I guess that doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, like I said, personally, I just don't stick to anything that relates to gaming right now. Even if gaming comes back, I just think AI and meme coins are the main things you should be focusing on for leveraged altcoin bets, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I'd say for right now, that is most of the stuff, if not all the stuff I wanted to cover. I'll check out a few more coins, and then I'll end this video in a couple minutes here. Yeah, this one had what was it, Kiwi? I saw this launch. But for me, I like to find launches that are between like 300K to like 800K. I don't know why that's such a sweet spot for me. Getting in with a good size and letting that run, 3 to 10x if possible. Yeah, I agree, bro. Play to earn is kind of dead. That's been dead for a long time. But I mean, at some point though, too, again, I don't like to say that and like be super negative about it. It definitely could have some sort of comeback. Especially if like consumer crypto becomes huge and everyone wants to earn playing games, that easily could become a thing. Cookie DAO, yeah, Cookie DAO is pretty good. That's just basically like an AI agent index almost, not an actual index, but they index a lot of the info. Yeah, don't you think AI arc is over? Like AI season. No, I actually don't. I don't think the AI run is even remotely close. It's just been a proven. thing right now that AI is still just top tier. Still think it's a top narrative. How, excuse me, what the fuck was that? I'm curious, how long do you hold on to coins? So that is a great question. That depends on my thesis beforehand. Usually I will hold a coin. If it's 'cause I classify coins into two different ways. You got new launches that are very degen, very high risk. Those, what you want to do is jump in and get out of them, whether it's in a day, whether it's in a week, sometimes in maybe 2 weeks. Because like on mainnet ETH, coins will launch. You could buy something if you're early to it, not even look, and then in a week from now, it could be up 10x. But if it's on Sol, it's something you want to jump in and get out of. New launches, I get in and out very quick, or I attempt to. If it's something like a long-term gem, like Zora, like Ray, something like Aoki, like coins that I know are very fundamentally strong, those I will hold for a minimum of sometimes a month, 3 months, sometimes a year. It just depends on my thesis, and then if that thesis eventually does end up playing out, that would be when I would be looking to sell. Something like this. You'd be holding for a couple months maybe. If you finally start to see God candles, that's when you want to start selling, when you want to start getting out. Even not, you don't have to sell every penny, but start taking profits. So yeah, it depends on that. If it's a new launch, very short term, if you get a few X's, you just get out of it. If it's something very long term, like an actual gem that is just undervalued, that I sometimes will hold for any sort of time. I really don't trade. I'm not going to be buying MOG, selling on the pump here, waiting to buy back. Like, I'm buying it. My thesis for the entire altcoin market is we're buying every single coin in the market while ETH is down here. Regardless of the price movements that MOG is going to do, any coins, altcoins are going to sit and do whatever at levels here. When ETH is up here, every single coin in the market is already going to be 5x higher than it is. So it really depends on the coin you're holding, but the levels that coins are sitting at now are not going to matter once ETH is at 5k, 6k, 7k. That's how I'm looking at it, and I just hold through shit. I just hold through a lot of it. It could be my risk tolerance, but I know a lot of people like to play the market a lot differently, but that's how I do it when it comes to long-term plays. But we got the laptop over here just died. Let me pull up the YouTube. I think I'm going to end this video in about 1 minute here. We'll go live. Yeah, so let me just mute this too. Okay, just to pull up comments though. The last coin I bought was Basis for Everyone. But, aside from that, guys, I think I'm going to cut the video there. Say looks like it's going to have a good run trending on Twitter today. Yeah, Say is another chain that's been out for a while. I think it could continue. Jazz, what's going on, bro? How we doing? What if it doesn't play out? How can you validate that you were wrong and take the L? That's a good question, too. That usually is going to be dependent on the trade setup and the entry, because a lot of times, for me, if the entry, I'll risk around 50%. So if I'm buying something here, my stop is going to be 50-60% below. So whenever I'm throwing into something, I'm willing to lose 50 to 60%, sometimes even more, on that entire trade versus the potential to make a 2x to 10x to 20x. That's how I structure almost every single investment I make. And depending on that, that's how I do that for setups. But I just realized you're looking at like 25 of me. So yeah, outside of that, I appreciate it, guys, and I will see, if you guys are in the group, I'll see you in Discord, and if not, I will see everyone in the next live or YouTube video. Thanks.